Yay, I think we got it. Body, all right. Little worried that wasn't going to happen, but here we are together getting ready for Passover, and it is really good to be together tonight. I hope you're singing at home. Hine ma tovu manai, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Shabbat Shalom. So good to see you out there in virtual land. I hope that you are enjoying a little Shabbat light, Shabbat blessing with each other, enjoying our last Shabbat before Pesach, our last moments before Pesach. As the sun sets, Passover begins, Shabbat begins. Even though we're not technically at Shabbat just yet, we wanted to have a little service, really a mincha service, an afternoon service, to make sure that we all have time to say Kaddish for those of our loved ones who we are thinking about this time of year, especially as we sit around the Passover table. Those empty chairs are so much more poignant right now. So as we think of them, we hold them in our hearts for our very brief mincha service. And we'll continue by rising. And as you know, we rise in our hearts and in our minds for Baruch Hu. Yada-dai-dai-dai, 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 yada-dai-dai-dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Lai lai, yala lai 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 lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. ברוך אתה Adonai, המעריב ערבים. Praise to you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta baham B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchetavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. We take a moment now to offer the prayers of our hearts. And as a reminder, I can't talk and play at the same time all the time. As a reminder, this is the last Shabbat that we will say Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hagashem this year, because starting middle of Pesach, we switch to Morid Hatal, we switch to summer mode, which is very appropriate as the weather starts to get warmer, the temperature is rising in the weather. I'm not making a statement on the environment, although the temperature is rising there too. And we feel the change happening. And you might hear people say, oh my goodness, it's April and I can't believe it's so cold. It's going to start getting warm now because we're changing our prayers, and that's why. So we continue with the Amidah. And again, if you want to rise in your hearts or your body, you are encouraged to do so. Adonai שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Bilha, ve'Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata rav lahoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chaim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha baal gevurot. Umido melach. Melech memit umechaye. Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai. Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We take a moment for our own personal prayers. As we move into Misha Berach, we encourage you to put the names of anyone that you are thinking of for healing in the chat. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of the spirit, and let us say Amen. all those names that we are thinking about be blessed with a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit. As we say together, Amen. A poem thinking about the future, the meaning of Passover, that we have freedom for everyone, the meaning of Aleinu, that we are looking forward to a time when the world is much more perfect, much more in tune with what our greatest dreams could imagine, by Judy Chicago. Merger, a vision of the future. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle. And then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. Ken Yeratzon, may it be a future that we can see. This moment, we turn our thoughts to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember the holy martyrs of every age of Jewish memory, from the Crusades to the Inquisition, from the English expulsion to the Russian pogroms, from the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem to the destruction of communities in the Holocaust. We remember those who have given their lives for our nation and for the state of Israel. We also take to heart the 388 Americans who lost their lives this week to gun violence. And we take to heart those in Ukraine who are losing their lives over a senseless war. As we remember them all, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week, we remember Joan Lerner, for whom we are observing Shloshim. We also remember those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, is this week. Irving Barger, Flora Biller, Alberta Brose, Maria Cater, Max J. Chesler, Sarah K. Epstein, Israel Fleischman, Charlotte Granny Gardner, Jerry Galerter, Theodore Harris, Iris Simons Katz, Morton Klein, Abe Klugman, Jacob Klugman, Carol Windmiller Lipton, Jackie Moss, Harriet Manco, Sandra Needleman, Albert Plotkin, Jack Rubin, Harry Z. Sachs, R. Doris Silverberg, Jenny Dwoskin Smolin, Yetta Steiner, Wendy Todd. And if you have other names for Kaddish, we encourage you to type their names in the chat function, either in our streaming service or on Facebook, wherever you are watching this evening. We think of them together as we recite the words of mourners Kaddish, Kaddish Atom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma di v'rach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudusha, b'rechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in high places bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. We'll conclude with a little Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Tonight during our Passover Seders, we will be doing Kiddush and Motzi. So allow me to close with one last word. This past Wednesday, 2 days ago, was a little known holiday called Passover Joke Day. It's a real thing. Passover Joke Day is an annual tradition started around 2017, from what I can tell. And this is the day that provides answers to questions we Jews ask, like what is a lion's favorite part of a Seder? And what happens when you step on a grape? Which reminds me, insert joke here. Oops. Telling Passover jokes is great fun for one day, at least for a lot of us. But in just one day, International Passover Joke Day is gone, not to return for another year. Not so for Shabbat. Shabbat will be back in just 1 week, and that's no joke. We always find it a great joy to gather for our Shabbat celebration virtually, but especially in person. And we look forward to seeing you live or online next week and every week.